Teal is the top right corner.
Get the stream
Purple is the
up.
middle.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys have the map with the colors or no?
I mean, I remember
Um,
them. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay.
yeah, in
All right.
Discord
Cool.
it is purple is mid, teal is right, and yellow is left, and then red
Okay.
is right and blue
All
is
right.
left.
Sounds good. I'll put the AI. All right.
Mhm.
Switch, switch. Let's go. Let's
We
go.
have an AI.
Yeah, just to let you pick your Civ bonus
Really?
or something. I have
What's up,
gave
lag?
you like hmm?
I said,
What?
what's up, lag? Uh,
Lag?
yeah, guy in my stream.
I don't even understand what you're saying.
We have someone in the stream.
Oh,
Yeah. Not
oh.
much. I haven't been feeling great. Just getting this game in tonight, and then I think I'll be calling it tonight. uh, let's see. Did they already? Okay, they already moved switch channels. Dude, even with the medicine, my head's already starting to hurt. Uh, doo- 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 let's see. What civ do I want to play? Yeah, what's this reaction? How are you taking out the towers? That was great. Um, I don't know what I want to play.
Tech tree.
Maybe Burgundy? Khmer wouldn't be too bad either.
Oh, besides Burgundians, you said what?
Khmer wouldn't be too bad either.
Hmm.
Let's. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing Let's.
Let's.
I haven't played them in a minute. Vietnamese wouldn't be too bad either.
Okay, so you go Lithuanians. I go. Um. I I go. What's that? I can either go Bohemians or Aztecs. We use onager cut, and I flood the whole area with monks and convert everybody, and that'll be it. Monasteries work 20% faster in Shuim. I mean Salon.
That's what Tifa said.
You're like, what's going on?
The best is when I don't know. I'm sure you've noticed it when I'm chasing off Bombardiers with the monks in the game. Oh man. So so what you're telling me is you want
No, I'm
the
not
food
telling you
monks,
anything, bro.
the food monks, or the extra HP monks. Are you on your phone? Yeah, typing on the phone can be annoying. Oh,
No, I'm not on the phone. Why?
my buddy on the stream.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, for a second I thought you said lag, and I thought, oh, you're lagging.
Yeah, I don't know if yes, right, you're not in the Discord. So I'm thinking about doing some like no commentary streams for the near future, so that I can just do some streams, and that way I don't have to wear my headset, just to get some stuff out there.
Talking to me or?
Both.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that way I don't have to wear the headset. The only exception to that rule would usually be streaming on the Switch. That
You're
requires.
forced there?
What's that?
I mean, I guess you're forced over there to wear, like, you always wear the headset with the Switch, because I guess it's not
No,
connected.
the one exception is the Switch, but I have to kind of partially, like, I have to move my keyboard and mouse and like move all that stuff around so that I can put the mic in that position, mic and switch in that position, so it's connected to my computer.
Gotcha.
So it kind of requires breaking up my PC setup, which is aggravating.
Oh,
And then
forget that.
if I wanted to do a PC stream, I need to wear the headset I'm wearing right now,
Yeah,
or which is a
that
little
makes
bit more
sense.
manageable.
I'm just saying, like, to break up everything just to do the Switch. I don't know how much of the Switch do you usually play?
It's off and on. I don't usually play it too often, but
Okay.
usually my streams are on the PlayStation because that's the most reliable
All right.
method for me. The Switch ones aren't too bad, but they still have some frame drops. And anything related to my PC usually has some frame drops for some reason. I haven't figured out why.
Interesting. So what are you thinking?
Showing humans. So they have Koreans, humans, and Spanish. Looks like they want to be mobile.
Yeah, it'll probably be a lot of cutting and running through or something like that.
Sounds accurate. Double paladin civ. With double onager civ. Show can't wall. What's this got? The bombards. Actually, 2 bombard civs. Koreans and Spanish.
Who and what?
Show went humans, Munsif went Koreans, and Vassal went Spanish.
Got it.
So I'm expecting conks in some manner, and a large number of paladins. Show is either gonna go mass pallies, mass archers, or mass siege. But most likely, I'm gonna guess pally archer. Munsif's probably gonna go infantry siege. That's just my guess.
Mm-hmm.
So Lith pick's not
I mean,
actually
you could
too
be.
bad. I'm assuming the AI is just towers across the map.
No. You just have one tower, man. I just gave you AI for the bonus. You want the bonus?
Oh, that's our tower.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Just give you a tower. Correct.
Take a look at some team bonuses. Uh,
Oh, you already picked Lithuanians? Is that what you're going?
yeah, I could have sworn you
Oh
said
shit.
I should go Litz.
um. So what are you planning on making with them?
So right now I'm thinking a back line of Lightus for any pally charges, and my own charges will consist of my own paladins. That's what I'm thinking at this moment. I could probably do a couple bombard cannons, maybe some bombard towers. Uh, infantry's I could do some infantry and or cav archers. Probably cav archer would be a little bit better than some infantry, I think, because I have fully upgraded cav archer. I think. Yeah, no, I'm missing Parthian. Yeah, I'm just missing Parthian though.
So what bonus would you want? Maybe I should go. Like, what bonus do you want then for the AI? Do you want like you want more of an eco thing, or do you want more like the castle
I was
bonus, or?
thinking Berbers for the castle production because the lightest would be really beneficial for the backline in case of a double pally charge.
Sure, blame it on your ISP.
Okay, so you wanna, so that's what you wanna go with, or?
That's what
Start
I'm
building,
leaning
I mean.
towards at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick Gujaraz probably just to give you the archers and then camels basically to
Okay.
support. And then, so I guess the question is, if I went there, then that's it. Like, so okay, so just tell me then, like, what do you want to go?
What do you mean?
So you want the Berber pick?
Yeah, Berbers is fine. Just get the game started.
Okay.
We
So
waited long enough.
Berber.
We were an hour and 40 minutes late.
I was just chatting.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I had to make tea for my mom, and then I was away from my screen, so I did not know that they had like one picked, and I thought you were just contemplating Lithuanians. I didn't know that you had already picked Lithuanians.
No, you said go ahead and go lists, so I picked them. Maybe it was an idle banter, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Mm.
mean, they're looking at your tech tree. They're like, what are they gonna do? What are these guys gonna do?
Fast castles. Fast. They can build units faster. And then he's gonna build like a bunch of those camels, and he's got these other guys that are like super fast. Hey, but you get to make Bombard towers too, so you can do that.
No. Alright, here we go.
So many onagers. You're gonna see so many towers and onagers, like pikemen galore. If anything, we could, we could lock out the backline, and then an area where we want to mess around with or play with, we probably want to burn some forest or like make sure that you can move around, because siege probably, you know.
Mhm.
Aš pasiruošęs, supratau. Tuojaus. Eimi statytum, eimi statytum, eimi statytum, eimi statytum.
This is such a different start from those games.
What's that?
This is such a different start from those games.
Oh yeah.
I was just sitting here, I'm like, I'm watching my town center build instead of starting with one.
Ką sakysi? Eimi statytum, eimi statytum. Sveiki. Supratau.
Don't have to kill my scout.
True. Oh yeah, you remember that. That's just me. Well, some people don't do that. I do that just because it opens up the pop. So you
Pop.
can
Yep,
make
yep,
more
yeah, you
bullets.
do everything. Yep, I know.
Klausau. Eimi.
I figured it out pretty quickly. I'm like, oh, it's for the pop.
Sveiki.
Because you start pop gap. The first thing I built is a house.
Mhm.
Oh man, that house gotta come up quick too.
Yeah, yeah.
Klausau. Eimi statytum.
Right, market, siege workshop.
Sveiki. Eimi statytum, eimi statytum. Ką sakysi?
Delete the market.
Aš pasiruošęs. Ką sakysi?
Where am I build my third? Couldn't build my third TC here.
Eimi statytum.
Ką sakysi? Aš pasiruošusi. Eimi statytum, eimi statytum, eimi statytum.
You're coming up.
Aš pasiruošęs. Sveiki. Eimi statytum, eimi statytum, eimi statytum. Klausau. Eimi statytum. Aš pasiruošęs. Klausau.
Let's get that. Monastery up and running.
Amy Statitum.
That town center.
Klausau. Ką sakysi? Sveiki, Amy Kirstum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum.
Couple military
Amy
buildings.
Statitum. Amy
Up.
Statitum.
Queue up that first monk. This fly wants to fly around me. Let's get the monastery working.
Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum.
Sveiki, Amy Kasto. Klausau. Sveiki. Amy Statitum.
That's my pop. Oh, really close to being pop capped.
Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Aš pasiruošęs. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Ką sakysi? Klausau. Ką sakysi? Amy Statitum.
Klausau. Aš pasiruošęs. Amy.
Drop that onager.
Klausau. Amy Kasto. Amy Statitum.
Hurry up with that town center. Building another onager to cut towards the middle area.
Sveiki.
Making some units as well.
Supratau. Jaus. Klausau. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Ką sakysi?
Go ahead.
Klausau.
Drop that.
Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Sveiki, Amy. Amy Statitum.
Dropping a town center here.
Sveiki, Amy Kasto.
Cutting here.
Aš pasiruošęs.
Alrighty.
Sveiki.
Aš pasiruošęs. Jaus.
Alright, cut through the first layer.
Sveiki. Amy Statitum. Ką sakysi? Supratau. Amy Statitum.
Ką
There.
sakysi? Supratau. Klausau. Amy
Town center
Statitum.
there.
Aš pasiruošęs.
They're in the middle area.
Klausau. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum.
Klausau. Amy Kirstum. Amy Statitum. Amy Statitum. Eimi statytum.
Savo valiai. Judu.
Building up a little wall here.
Klausau. Klausau. Aš pasiklausau. Eimi statytum. Ką įsakysi? Tu jau supratau.
Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Building some barracks across the line here and some outposts to get some vision.
Eimi statytum.
Klausau. Eimi. Eimi statytum.
Steigiuosi, tai suvesti, eimi, steigiuosi, tai suvesti, eimi, klausau, eimi, steigiuosi, tai suvesti, klausau, eimi, tai suvesti, steigiuosi, klausau, tai suvesti.
Klausau.
Power up capped again.
Aš pasiruošęs. Tuojaus. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi
Well, they're in the-
statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Sveiki. Klausau. Ką įsakysi? Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statytum.
I'm gonna cut probably here soon.
Ką įsakysi? Supratau.
They're cutting here.
Copy.
Eimi statytum.
Sveiki. Aš pasiklausau. Eimi statytum. Ką įsakysi? Eimi kirstum. Eimi statytum. Klausau. Sveiki.
Eimi statytum.
Klausau. Eimi kirstum. Eimi kirstum. Supratau. Eimi statytum.
Ką įsakysi? Klausau. Eimi kirstum.
Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statytum. 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 Eimi statytum.
This house is down. They got an onager here.
Ką įsakysi? Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Sveiki. Eimi statytum. Aš pasiruošęs. Ką įsakysi?
Let's see, that's cav archers and halbs.
Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Aš pasiruošusi. Sveiki. Eimi statytum.
Klausau. Eimi statytum. Sveiki. Eimi statytum. Aš pasiruošęs.
Aš pasiruošusi. Eimi statytum. Ką įsakysi? Eimi kastum. Klausau. Sveiki. Eimi kastum.
Klausau. Eimi statytum. Ką įsakysi? Tuojaus? Aš pasiruošęs. Klausau. Tuojaus? Eimi? Eimi statyti. Ką įsakysi? Кайсекиси.
We got the cat archers moving here. We got bombard towers here. Okay, I'm gonna make this cut soon.
Sveiki. Klausau. Supratau.
Ką įsakysi? Eini statytų. Eini statytų. Eini statytų. Eini statytų. Eini statytų.
Sveiki. Eimi statyti.
Just making sure my farms are good. I'm at 33.
Klausau. Ką įsakysi? Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti.
Get
Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti.
some walls in.
Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi kirstų. Eimi statyti. Sveiki. Eimi kastų. Eimi statyti. Ką įsakysi? Eimi statyti.
Sveiki. Eini statytų. Aš pasiruošusi. Klausau. Eini kastų.
Those guys on stone. We got Treb and bombard cannon guy here. Kill up some Trebs.
Aš pasiruošęs.
Okay, yeah, I'm cutting through here now.
Klausau. Ką įsakysi? Tavo valia. Supratau. Klausau. Eimi.
More towers. They double down on the towers.
Ką įsakysi? Tavo valia.
Kill the key of helps to protect the Treb. They're cutting here as well.
Klausau. Eimi statyti. Sveiki. Ką įsakysi? Eimi taisyti. Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti.
Sending paladins in. Some whitish over there as well.
Klausau.
Got some skirms, might as well send them out. Since they so kindly did that, I'm gonna send up my one onager to open this up. Well, I guess you bait him then to do that. That works too.
Кайся, кися, Лоусон. Имистатито. Аж посилуешься.
Grabbing my relics.
Имистатито.
Sveiki. Klausau. Eimi kirstum. Eimi kirstum.
Queuing up some more trips. Sending some bills forward. Big charge right there.
Aš pasiruošęs. Klausau. Eimi statyti.
So there with mass trebs. War wagons with Alps.
Лоусон.
Кайся, кися.
Кайся, аж посилуешься. Имистатито.
Ką sakysit?
Big ball of what you call
Лоусон. Аж посилуешься.
Cav archers.
Имистатито.
Aš pasiruošęs.
Sveiki. Имистатито.
Are we playing on normal or fast?
Must be normal.
Yeah,
Must have
that's what I was-
forgotten.
That's what I was thinking. Grabbing some more relics. For the moment. Moving out. Take out these onagers.
Sveituojaus. Ėmė statyti.
Moving to strike onagers. Shows onagers are down.
Aš pasiruošęs.
Ką sakysi?
Killing off a couple lateral hills.
Eimi. Aš pasupratau. Klausau, jo. Oi, tie. Ką sakysi?
Clean up some more.
Ką sakysi? Ėmė statyti. Ėmė statyti.
Klausau. Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti.
Adding farms.
Sveiki.
Aš pasiruošęs. Ėmė.
Ką įsiklausau? Eimi statyti. Eimi statyti.
Requeuing up paladins. Sending up my 2 trebs. And take out these siege workshops.
Ką įsakysi? Eimi statyti.
Well, we got their onagers out of position. Running in. Most of the show's onagers went down.
Sveiki.
Aš
Ėmė
pasiruošęs.
statyti.
Low on food.
Klausysi?
Continuing to add farms. Pulling in a group of Alps. They pulled back.
Aš pasiruošęs. Einu kastu. Klausau.
Sveiki. Eime statyti. Eime
Sveiki.
statyti.
Are we playing with 300 pop?
Einu statyti.
Think so.
Oh,
Einu statyti. Einu statyti.
adding houses then.
Klausau. Eime statyti. Eime statyti. Eime statyti. Eime statyti. Eime statyti.
Some more troops again. I think, yeah, there is a siege workshop over here. I'll make a couple bombard cannons. Yeah, I think we are playing 300 pop.
Aš pasiruošęs. Eime statyti.
I was playing with 200 pop for the longest there. Sending up 2 trebs. Gonna treb down that castle and those towers. Give up a key of sending up a couple bombard cannon guys to hit those trebs.
Klausau.
Ką įsakysi? Eime
Aš
statyti.
pasiruošęs. Einu statyti. Einu statyti. Supratau. Einu statyti. Einu statyti.
Aš pasiruošęs.
Sending in the paladins. Paladins are on the archers. Queuing pallies. Moving up trebs. Gonna hit that wall.
Amy статив. Amy статив. Amy статив. Amy статив.
Кайся, кися. Ими статиту. Ими статиту. Ими статиту. Ими статиту.
Браво, Валя.
Sending a paladin charge.
Sveiki, imi kirstu. Imi statitu. Imi statitu. Imi statitu.
Sending in paladin charge. Moving up to 2 trebs. Or 1 trap.
Пойдя.
Moving up trebs. Gonna be chilling behind the wall.
Аж посупротал. Amy статив. Браво, Валя.
Alright, shows castle's gonna go down soon. I saw him trying to mass some of his trips.
Sveiki. Kaiser. Amy статив.
Klausom. Kaiся, kisia. Sveikuojus. Imi kastu. Imi statitu. Imi statitu.
Isso est.
Sending in a paladin charge.
Kaiser Gizir. Пойдя.
Packing trips.
Клаусал. Amy Кирстун. Amy статив.
Trips moving forward. Taking out Siege Workshop.
Klausom. Imi statitu. Imi statitu.
Stopping Fossil from massing Trebs. Cutting action going on. Couple paladins snuck in. Mass Trebs.
Oh, oh.
What is this shit?
Cai se cai. Emis statito.
Just few raiders. And Show left the Trebs unprotected.
Aš pasiruošęs.
Sveiki, supratau. Einu statyti.
Bravo Valė. Pirmyn, saugu. Sveiki. Emis statyti. Emis statyti. Emi kirstų. Cai sakysi?
Sending my help this way so I can pull paladins to you.
Klausau. Pulti. Klausau. Cai sakysi? Emis statyti. Supratau. Eini taisyti.
Klausau. Einu į kastą.
Guardiera, steigiuosi. Teisuosi, steigiuosi, steigiuosi. Klausau, teisuosi, eimi. Steigiuosi, klausau, teisuosi, steigiuosi, eimi. Klausau, teisuosi.
Sveiki.
Looks like he's getting ready for another ram push.
Aš pasiruošęs. Sveiki. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Klausau. Eimi statytum. Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statytum.
Eime kirstu. Eime statyti. Aš pasiruošęs. Eime statyti.
And there's that ram push I was talking about. Mass trebs again.
Eime statyti. Eime. Aš pasiruošęs. Eime statyti. Ką įsakysi?
Ką įsakysi? Sveiki. Eimi.
Sending a couple more vills to forward build. These two trips up, trying to take out that tower. Pellies.
Klausom.
Tuojaus. Eimi statytum. Klausau. Eimi statytum.
Large amount of rams.
Sveiki. Eimi statytum.
Sveiki. Eime statyti. Aš pasiruošęs. Eime taisyti.
Trebs are trying to come in, large rams.
Ką įsakysi? Eime statyti. Eime statyti. Eime statyti.
Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statytum. Ką įsakysi?
Sveiki. Klausom. Eime
tribs on this side.
Sveiki. Ėmė statyti. Supratau. Ėmė kasti. Ėmė statyti. Aš pasiruošiu. Ėmė statyti.
Moving up some more troops.
Klausau. Aš pasiruošęs. Ėmė statyti.
Aš pasiruošęs. Jūs
Ėmė statyti. Sveiki. Tuojaus. Ėmė statyti. Ėmė statyti.
Troops. Lots of halberdiers coming in. Got a lot of shows onagers.
Sveiki, unikas, ėmė statyti.
Paisakėsi, eini statyti. Aš pasiruošęs. Eini kastu. Sveiki. Eini
Klausau.
statytų.
Ėmė statyti.
Pasakysi, eini statytų. Eini
Aš pasiruošęs.
statytų.
Ėmė statyti.
Sveiki. Eini
Klausau.
statytų.
Ėmė statyti. Ėmė
Sveiki.
statyti. Ėmė
Aš
statyti.
pasiruošęs.
Sending in a wave of alleys.
Aš pasiruošęs. Klausau. Ėmė statyti. Ėmė statyti.
Moving up. Troops.
Eini statytų. Eini statytų.
Klausau. Sveiki. Ėmė. Ėmė statyti.
Finally building that market.
Ėmė statyti. Ėmė kirstų.
Moving paladins forward.
Ėmė statyti. Ėmė statyti.
queuing up paladins.
Rusa.
Big ball of units here.
Sveiki. Einu statytum.
Holy shit. They've been buying some wood.
Aš pasiruošęs. Sveiki.
Ką sakysi?
Klausau.
Einu statytum.
Aš pasiruošęs. Ką įsakysi? Einu statytum.
Ką įsakysi? Einu statytum.
Aš pasiruošęs. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Klausau. Einu statytum. Einu statytum. Aš pasiruošęs. Spėju, supratau. Einu statytum. Klausau. Einu statytum. Aš pasiruošęs. Einu statytum. Einu paskui. Sveiki. Einu statytum.
Couple trebs up here. Mass cannon too.
Ką įsakysi?
Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Ką įsakysi?
Accidentally made petards. Might as well send them up. Got a bunch of trips sending them up. Hit shows eco.
Sveiki.
Ką įsakysi? Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Engagement going on here.
Sveiki. Supratau. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Oh shit, I made Vitards again. Well, pull the paladins away at least. And almost took up the tower. 1.5, yeah, I'll take it.
Ką įsakysi? Sveiki. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum. Eimi statytum.
Got some traps coming up. More trips coming up. Incoming paladins.
GG. Good game. Good. Played decently. I'll let Salman talk first, and then Shoaib, I guess you can tell me what you guys were thinking, what you did, and what worked and what didn't work, right? Like the combination from everybody. So I'll let Salman speak first.
So I think show on occasion I went too siege heavy on occasion. Like there was way too many trebs and rams on a certain points. That kind of actually stalled the push, ironically, because then you didn't have the pop to defend all the siege. So that was a little problematic. Vassal did solid, did what he could. No real complaints from there. Munsif I felt like was a little bit more siloed. I mean, I was too, but I felt he was. I never really felt his presence too much on the right hand side. He would come in spurts, but it was more Shoaib siege that I was facing than Munsif kind of coming over to helping. And Kurum's not usually gonna really push in unless like I'm leading the charge. I mean, it is a 2v3, so rules are a little bit more iffy, but overall I think you guys did good. But there was a couple stalled pushes because you had too much siege. That was my thoughts from the game.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so overall I thought pretty good. I would have liked to see more abuse of the who was, by the way, who was Koreans? I forget now.
Munsif.
Yeah, so I would have actually, Shoaib, you know, I would have liked to see Munsif making most of the onagers on your side. Like basically he was making like technically he could have made onagers like because you guys were trying to counter push and push from your side, right? So what I'm saying is like abusing the onagers, you know, because I made the elephants or whatever. Like your onagers don't even have to come kind of close. You basically abuse Munsif's range and just basically just pancake from far away, right? So because you had adequate defense. I mean, I like the defense. The pikeman defense was there. Fassel's like timely charges were like super effective, super good actually. A lot of cleanup he did. So I like that, but maybe using the siege would have been good. Tower defense fine, no issues there. So I would have liked more participation of Munsif. The other thing was also I don't know, like I didn't really see too many villagers of Munsif on the other side collecting wood. Sure, I know you were collecting wood for 100%. But I didn't see Munsif was necessarily doing that. And then maybe maybe there was a reason why he wasn't able to make the siege workshops or whatever. On like on your side, but to me that would have been like a real game changer. Because basically when you abuse because here's the thing, you already had the trebs, right? So the trebs are all great. Like every time you had trebs, you forced the issue, like forced Salman to kind of push, but then you had like the stout defense, amazing number of pikemen, just the right amount. And Fassel's like paladins were screening and taking out like the siege, so and also creating pressure on the elephants. Fassel did a great job trying to like basically frontline a bit, and still give your onagers like time to live. I would have just liked you to force the issue so that you're basically doing long range bombardment, and then you have like onagers, long range onagers on top of your long range bombardment, and then basically the onagers is killing all the elephants. Interestingly enough, Munsif actually in couple of like mini battles, he kind of exploited his onager play. And he was able to beat like small groups of elephant archers with a couple of camels. So he was able to actually do that. If he only did like that, maybe on your side, not making all sorts of units, but just basically making a lot of the onagers, maybe even like the pikemen that he had there, which Munsif does a great job. That would have actually yielded a lot of dividends. I love the counterattacks. The counterplays were great. I felt once again that once you guys, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, there was like once or like 2 or 3 times you literally pushed us out, and then it was a vacuum. It's like no one was doing anything in the vacuum, right? So that's another thing you guys have to try to work. Like, hey, we just fought hard for this real estate. You know, let's take over. Let's forward build. Let's do something here. And give like more targets to fight, right? But other than that, again, that was pretty good. Fasil's, but I have to say, Fasil's timely support and charges on Munsif's side was huge. I thought that creating that second area opening is okay if you guys were going to take advantage of that. See, it's like it was open, but not really fully guys took advantage of it. It's not bad to take advantage of it. The only problem is with like technically because I gave everybody 300, so you guys did have like extra pop. So maybe Shoaib, if the defense was too much on one side, you could have like, you know, switched up quite a bit. Because interestingly enough, if you guys scouted, Salman hadn't built too much on my side, right? So essentially, basically, it's not like you kind of going in to beat. You're basically creating pressure and then go right back to your original campaign and then do this major push, right? So maybe a little bit of that. Other than that, though, I think their unit combinations were fine. Did you have to have that many trebs? Not quite. But I really feel that the difference kind of was a lot of times was just the onager. Like if you could just abuse the Korean onager range, I think you guys would be okay, suppressing the elephants, and then I think like once the elephants were kind of not there, you guys were kind of like in a good spot. So yeah. Other than that, pretty good job on the counter plays and the counter pushes. So excellent work. Shoaib, go ahead.
Yeah, I think from our side, I mean, I guess the Sif picks were kind of self-explanatory, right? I mean, obviously with humans, I had a bit of redundancy on the SO and the Paladin, which I guess on purpose, right? A little bit. And then of course I had technically the Archer option too, right? Which I was doing initially, but then I switched over more, as you saw, to more halves, right, instead, and whatnot. I think strategy-wise, I mean, we didn't really have like necessarily an offensive strategy from the get-go, right? It was more like kind of dynamic as the game was going on, right? So we're trying to communicate and
By the
whatnot.
way, sorry to cut you off. Good job on securing, like holding mid, right? Early,
Mhm.
like coming in mid. That was really good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Munster did a good job, getting into mid. Like I was actually a little surprised because I guess, when I saw that, I didn't know he was already there, right? So that was kind of good on Munster's part as well to secure that real estate. Um, but no, I think apart from that, um, I mean, like you were saying, I guess one of the main issues was that, yeah, my army and Munsif's armies were mostly kind of split up, right? Like I was more heavy on the mid right, right? He was more kind of heavy on the mid left, right? So that was kind of like an issue. Um, I was, of course, on Faisal side for eco purposes for sure and whatnot. I mean, I know there was like one point. I didn't specifically ask for Munsif's, I guess, onagers that as much because I know I had my own onagers too. But I know there's one point where I think Munsif did a good job with Faisal. I think maybe pushing, his side back a little bit, and then our side was kind of going a little bit deeper. So then, a few times I made a request to not just Munsif, but I also asked Faisal if he can help out, like to D up the mid left and kind of join me on the mid right, because my logic was, we wanted to pressure more Saman's armies and Eco, right? Because I know usually
Yep.
his Eco is on that side anyways, right?
Yep.
As opposed to like kind of technically, pushing you deeper back or
Mm-hmm.
something, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, of course, there was comms on that at least, so that was a good part, right? I know, Munsif said he struggled to build defense there. I guess, I guess he said he tried a few times, but he wasn't allowed to build and stuff defense there, right? So, I was Cuban, so I didn't have stone walls or bomber towers too, right? So, I couldn't really necessarily do too much my own stuff there, right? Um, but I think apart from that, yeah, there was at one point, but Munsa finally did join me in the mid, right? As you saw, I think that's when we had the most success, right? Where basically we kind of pushed you guys, clear that area out. I know we did some forward building, maybe not as much or not as heavy as we should have, but there was definitely, I guess, some ups and downs. I think eco-wise, of course, we were struggling, I would say, after mid-game, right? Like mostly on wood, I would say, right? So that was definitely, part of the issue in terms of, let's say like later, like the last third, for example, I think there wasn't really much wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
As much available and stuff for, there was wood on the map, not as much as I guess available to actually utilize from our side, right?
I know someone was
Um,
buying wood. I tell you that.
No, that was like I did like the last, I think maybe 3-4 minutes at least. I only bought the last couple of minutes when I
Oh
knew
no,
that
when
we were
I,
gonna
I
resign.
It
But I don't know
was
about
way
before
before that. Way before that. I was like, I went to the market. I'm like, it's at
Ah,
500. I'm like, what?
yeah, I don't know about that one.
You,
But
you
no,
went to the wrong market. You should change the market.
Wrong market.
but no, other than that, you have to also keep in mind that this was the first game right after like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously, that at least, like the other thing that kind of threw me off, I guess. I wasn't sure. I should have asked if it was 300 pop or 200 pop, right? I guess I was under the assumption maybe that it's. I thought maybe you guys would have 300, but I thought maybe we still have 200. So, and that wasn't the biggest thing, but initially, like the first, first part of the game, of course, I was assuming it's a 200 pop, right? So I had to kind of quickly ramp up to get to 300, but
I
that
had
wasn't
to
the biggest issue.
show just to let you know I had the same issue.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't tell Salman either.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah. Like I said, it wasn't the biggest thing. But I think overall it was, pretty good game. Um, but yeah, I think Fassel did pretty good. I know he wasn't feeling well either, so that was good that he was able to still make a pretty good impact on the game.
No, the support was
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
amazing, and the charges, like timely charges,
Mhm.
the timely charges, basically stunted Salman's like siege play. It like a lot of times because of your pikemen, the paladins would eventually go, but then Fasil pressured a lot of the elephants. So basically, it was like that. You guys got success, right? And then everything else was living. Like all your siege was living. Like you noticed, like every time you made some good runs, you had the right paladin charge. You had your pikemen in decent number, but then your trebs would live. Like it didn't even matter if your onagers went down eventually. The fact is that your trebs lived, and you were just wiping out like all the buildings, taking out like for example the wall network, even before the wall network. I'm just saying like those are like like that's how you know like hey that was really really good from your guy's side and Fassel support. With the thing is the paladins didn't just go alone. Every time before your major charge, Fassel just goes in, takes a lot of the pressure, and then you just clean up and destroy everything. So that was really really good. And actually, Fassel was doing that with Munsif too. Like
Yeah.
few times, like Munsif needed help, so Fassel would go in. Munsif would see what I had or what was there, and then Munsif did like a decent job saying, "Oh, okay, so maybe I don't have enough pikemen. Oh, I'm gonna make more pikemen. Oh, pikemen is not enough." Then he kind of said, "Oh, you know what? Let me throw war wagons in there. Let me throw bombard cannons." So he did like a very interesting mix of units to try to kind of deal with what was there. The pikeman was the key to have Fassel survival, and then Fassel sometimes would be like, he would catch like elephants without camels around, and then because you guys were doing such a great job on the other side.
You were not really like obviously like trying to protect your allies and stuff. They were just standing there, right? So.
Well, that's for you guys to take advantage
I'm
of.
just saying, yeah. So like we had the onager range, like you said, that would helped obviously.
Yeah. So exactly. So the only reason like maybe you would see a bit too much elephants is if you did not kill the initial elephants, then basically, you know, you would have that issue. But it wasn't because like, oh, more units have to be created or whatever. It was more because you did not necessarily address that, like from your guys' side, right? So basically, that's what it was. But hey, if you did get those onager, a couple of times you actually did have Shoaib have like those onagers and stuff. So I thought that was like not bad. Just couple of times I guess like protecting them was a little bit of an issue, but the times you did get those shots, that was really good. And Munsif got some decent shots on the other side when Munsif was using onagers as well. So that was good to see where he was trying to like strategically move back. And then Munsif, every time he tried, a lot of times trying to get back right up, he finally did figure out that, hey, you know what? Let me go to the other side. And then he was trying to wall and he was trying to do some stuff. And then he just kind of like eventually moved. And that's, by the way, that's when you got your next major breakthrough. When Munsif showed up, you got your next big breakthrough when he showed up. And then boom, like everything got wiped out. And that was really good to see. So kudos to you. Go ahead, Munsif. Tell me what you think about like, how was the matchup? What do you feel you did good, and what you feel you probably need to improve on, or what were your observations?
Me showing up in the other side was a call that has been made before mid-game. It's just I never had a chance to go. I mean, there is reason why. It's not like I didn't want to go. I just, at the end, I said, you know what? I don't care about my side. I'm not going to protect it. I'm just going to move all my units the other side. And luckily, I mean, it was open. I mean, you could have just went through.
Yeah, but I was gonna go in.
Well, that's the thing. So I don't know when you guys put those rules
I
in
know.
or out. So I don't know.
No, it's up to
Are
me.
you
It's
gonna go
that was
in
the
or
game.
not? Or that's because sometimes you say, "Oh, I'm gonna go." Sometimes, "Oh, I'm not gonna go alone." So I cannot know. That's fine. So yeah. So at the end, I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna send my units. And yes, as soon as I sent my units, I had enough units there, and we did a major push. But the story happened before that. I mean, ideally, like, I don't know. I tried to make all kind of compositions so I can counter your units, but at the end it was already called because all your units counter my units. You had camels, you had Ellies, you had siege Ellies, you had Ellies archers. So I mean, all the combination that whatever we make, you have counters of them. So it's already called out, and the mass units that you made. Again, we didn't know. Me too. I didn't know that we have 300 pops. It's until like right after the mid that we knew. And then I start making more houses and start producing more villagers to get more, you know, economy and so on. Yeah, if I had the mindset that oh, we have 300 pops, now I can double my my production, I would say. But anyways, yeah, and I mean it was obvious, and also it was you guys smart. I mean, for you guys are 2 players against 3. I mean, ideally the best strategy for you guys is me not showing up the other side, right? And
Yeah.
and try not showing on my side, and that's exactly what you did. I mean, it's not like you try to take over the left or try to take over the right, but you took over the mid, which is whoever moved there, you just kill them. So you make sure no one goes to the other side from either me going to Shaib or Shaib coming to me. And that's what you did too. So try to build in the mid and try to defend the mid, and anything that's moving in the mid, you just kill it. Which is good. I mean, it's obvious. And again, yeah, Salman didn't show up my side. It was only you. If I knew Salman would not come, I would just have give up my side a long time ago. I mean, Salman tried to send some units, but I would say way less than the amount that you produced. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my onagers would have been helpful. I have the range, but every time I send my onagers, you kill them in the way. I had to send them in the back, but it took too long. And I made
Nice.
I made what do you call it, the siege workshops. You kill them, and I couldn't have any place where to build next to Shuaib. I mean, it's like I was handcuffed. I couldn't do many things that I could have did, but I couldn't. Yeah, ideally I would have just made buildings there next to him and just produced from them, but I didn't have place where to do that. So that's why at one point I said, to Shaib if you can at least guarantee me like that spot to free it so I can build there,
Hmm.
then I can start produce from there. But that came up later on, like almost at the end of the game.
Mm.
Uh, Anyways, I mean, you guys played good. I mean, you guys did what you had to do, and you guys had the right composition. Yes, Faisal did very good help. I mean, he sent units in very timely manner, so he sent them when he needed against Salman and sent them when he needed against you. Especially when I was down, he was there, which is good. Um, yeah. Anyways, overall it was a good game.
Oh, cool, cool. By the way, Koreans destroy Gujras. Just FYI, they're not really a counter. They just get like rocked, really, really hard. But I think obviously some of the like you obviously pointed out, like there were some challenges. There was also like some micro issues and some sometimes you had like more onagers, less infantry, sometimes more infantry, less onagers. Anyway, it was like some of those issues that you were kind of experiencing. I wouldn't even bombards I wouldn't have made unless to destroy buildings, but other than that, you would have just worked on securing that side with the maker. I know you were making towers and that's fine, but basically you definitely want to continue working on your siege to onager to like pikeman ratio, because pikemen counter camels and onagers counter elephants, and then you're kind of good. Like you don't have to worry about too much apart from that, right? But scouting, that's where Fassel gave you such a great, huge advantage. Fassel's paladin charges showed you exactly what was there, so you actually knew in certain times when to move in. Because you're like, oh crap, he doesn't have that much. You moved in, and only because Fassel's paladins showed that stuff to you. So I'm just saying, like the scouting thing, it's a real thing. Anyway, good job, good job. Fassel, go ahead. What do you think about the game? Can't hear you.
Yeah, we had that issue during the game. I think there's a problem with the Faisal's
The mic, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Not the whole game, but throughout
I
the
have-
game.
Oh, there you go.
I have to change the. I don't know what's going on with Discord and my mic. I've just never had good luck. But anyway, I mean, I did what I could. I think everybody covered everything. I think the biggest thing was consistently. I know that we're coming back after a while, but this is an old problem, which is ISO games. There has to be an effort to go and establish at least some presence on the other side and then generate support as needed. If there's times where we need to flip the polarity of O and D, we're not able to do that, right? So that's why we're stuck with, Munsif taking the gamble and saying that, I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna go on the other side. But that wouldn't be a problem if there's enough, if all three are on one side, all three on the other side, and we can switch the polarity. And so we can change the O side to D, and change the D side to O, and create a little bit of surprise, especially because Salman admitted that he was barely present on the other side. And, and Khurram's not going to reward a 3v1 pushback if Salman's not on the other side. But unfortunately, this is not something new, and so an effort needs to be made where it's not just enough to drop. I mean, Shoaib drops a town center, but then never follows through with building any kind of, minimal something, right? So there needs to be an effort made, and how's that done? We need to explore that. But these games are going to keep rinsing and repeating to the same pattern, which is what happens when we're isolated, right? So it's basically going to be Salman Khurram versus Shoaib Fassel only. Who's going to win that? Or it's going to be Munsif Fassel versus Salman and Khurram. Who's going to win that? So no matter how you look at it, it's a losing game when it's going to be 2v2. The whole idea of being 2v3 is that we can bring our strengths together and create a challenge for the two strong players. I don't think we've ever been able to achieve that. So I'm not even talking about this game. I'm talking about any of the previous games. So we have to figure out how to do a better job with using the early game to establish a minimal footprint, one town center with a couple, not going crazy on the other guy's side, but just establishing some military presence that you can scale up and build upon. And we can improve our game quite a bit, and we can change these game dynamics if we do that. But
Whoops, you cut off before the battle of attrition.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the battle of attrition, three players using up resources versus two players. It's a ticking time, right? It's an hourglass, and it will always be the case that with the 2v3, the team of three will always lose resources quicker, and we'll be ready to call it quicker, unless we do a better job coordinating. But if we're going to continue to play the ISO games, I just don't see a whole lot of rinse and repeat, and I don't think that's going to create any kind of inspirational outcomes. That's it.
Cool. So I guess like in the end, Shoaib, Munsif, what do you guys think about like how do you guys think you could like how would you guys be able to create that footprint? Would that be just like more comms early? Because it seems like when people are kind of really busy early game, by the time they end up looking at the other side, maybe it's like crazy full, and then nobody knows like where to build or what to do. Any thoughts on like maybe how to even address that?
I mean, yeah, I think the building, of course, like in this game, I think like early on I built, because I was thinking of going a bit, because I was thinking also what the other team needed in terms of complementing units from my side, right? Because technically SO and Paladins, Fast Luminous have already had, right? So I built a few archery ranges, and I think I built like maybe one siege workshop, just in case, right? If there
Right.
was any limited support needed. So I had those buildings initially, like before the battle started. But later on, I didn't really build more military buildings on that side. But I think also to Fasil's point, I think especially if there's 300 pop, which this game there was 300 pop, which I know that's a separate topic, right? Where we do generally struggle to hit the 300 consistently, right? Because of eco and whatnot. But regardless of that, I think especially since we did have 300 pop and it was a 3v2, obviously I think both me and Munsif especially, because Faisal is doing, decent job being on both sides, so it's not really more of an issue on his side, it's more me and Munsif, I would say, right, where I think we both could have done a better job in terms of, using the 300 pop to be on more than, one front, right?
Did you guys ever hit 300 at all?
I did, yeah. I mean, this game, I don't know, percentage-wise, but I would say maybe half the game I was like maybe at 300, I would say.
Hey Munsif, what about you? Did you hit 300 like pop, like where you were 300 pop?
No, maximum I think 265 or something.
And Faisal, what do you think you were?
Probably 220, 230.
Okay, so never really the full, never really the full 300. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's yeah. So I think those are actionable things, right? Like being able to communicate early, and then by the way, one thing you guys could do is when you're doing the SIF picks, you could try to figure out like, hey, I'm gonna build this, like that's what I'm gonna build and support with, and then the person whose area it is can like figure out like where folks are gonna build, and sometimes like if the map is a bit closed, like this map can be a little closed, you guys can work on like either clearing space or like once the wood villagers have done their job over time, there's like room open, so when the wood villagers have like done through some of the forest, that's when that's when like the third player can maybe go in there and just like say, oh, guys, like this area, once you've used the wood, this is where I will build my stuff, like like a little in the future. But of course that means that if they're not going to do it immediately because of space issues, once the wood line drops a bit, they have to remember to go back. And I don't know if that's something you guys can do, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Like, if you have more space, or space is dedicated, probably like the best it would be is that the person who owns the area is the person that says, hey, you guys, this is the area for you.
Well, that and this map, of course, the way the map dynamics are, like, it's not like, for example, where you can have like a major military
Yeah.
base that's going to be untouched, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, because the range isn't that much between the different, the levels in mid, right? Like the different lanes in mid, protected by the forest. I mean, there's a lot of times where either myself or even my allies would, let's say, actually have buildings at one point, but then of course during the battle they would get destroyed and stuff, right? So then you would need to then rebuild and all of those things, right? As opposed to like if it was a type of a map where you had like this major military base, where you're launching attacks from, you know what I mean? That's kind of like protected and stuff, right? So
That's a good point, because usually
so
I've
yeah,
seen
I
you
just
guys.
want to make sure it's not like a case, like in the past where people wouldn't even think about that or not even have any buildings. Like I think we are getting a little bit, more aware, I guess, right? That okay, I need to have buildings, right? Um, but that's another factor to just keep in mind. But I think regardless of that, still we need to do a much better job, as in myself and Munsif, right? Because that has been, a bit of a pattern, right? Luckily, this game did not need me as much on the other side. They were able to handle it, right? So it wasn't as big of an issue in terms of the impact. But that still has been like an issue, I would say, right? That me and Munsif need to work on. Like, as my point is, if you're sending honor, just for example, from the other side, versus if you have siege workshops already in the back on my side, you know what I mean? It makes a big difference, right?
Oh, that's huge. Did you guys communicate, or Munsif, or did you communicate with your team that you were cutting through, or making a push, or I don't think you were making a push as much as you were cutting the forest to like the lane in front of you.
You mean early game?
Not early game where you're getting into the middle, but from middle trying to get onto our side, you made like you cut like a lot, like you cut the forest, remember?
No, I don't
No, on
recall that.
on my side.
The only time I cut was early game when I went to the middle, and that's it.
So wait a minute. So you basically, because I wasn't scouting or going in mid at all. So you basically cut your side to get into the middle where the gold patches are and the stone
Yes.
patches are. But then I noticed that there was like onager cuts into the forest,
Oh,
into
but
like.
yeah, but if you recall, I didn't cut all the way. I left a few trees there.
Yeah, but you did that early game, you mean?
No, that wasn't early game. Yeah, I see what your point. You mean after the gate, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No, that was intentional. Like, so I can send my onagers to, not my onagers. So I can set my bomber cannon to hit your. I don't know what kind of units you had in the back hitting me. So yeah, and I didn't cut all the way. I wasn't pushing anything. I left some trees there so to limit access from both sides.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I
But
pulled back. I didn't do any push or anything there.
understood. I'm just saying, like, I guess my point is that, because the issue isn't the fact that you did that, but what if Salman saw that and he basically, the sliver of trees that was left, he used his onager and just bum rushed you? What would you have done then?
That's fine. That's fine because I had already my gates there, my side of wall, and have plenty of units in the back, so that's fine.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying is there was this big attack that was happening on the other side. Now, granted, I don't know if like.
And I think you made houses after that, I think.
Yeah. But I just made houses for the fun of it. What I'm saying, because I wanted you to attack something. So you attacked the houses. so I was like, oh, okay, so he's serious about this place. But I guess my point was that your team was busy hard pushing Salman and my units from on the other side, right? Imagine if they actually had your units in that push. That would have been like crazy. Like there's nothing we could really do to stop it actually. Just because you're the Korean player. Like there's nothing we could like literally we're kind of screwed. So the thing is that, but because you kind of like stayed more, because you know, face it, if like it takes a little micro, it made you micro the trees, then you had to micro the bombard cannons, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But ideally, you're talking about a spam of like what, a minute or 2 minutes, right? Yes, I could have sent my units there, but by the time I send them, either my teammates' units would have died, or or my units have been lying in the way. So that's one.
No, 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 not from the
Ideally, my
middle,
units.
not from the middle though.
Yeah, but wherever I'm gonna send them from, the back was challenging too because it wasn't properly set to send units from left to right. That's maybe after the mid of the game when I started able
Okay.
to do that. But ideally, I should not do that. I mean, ideally, I should build there and produce my units from there. That's ideally what I'm supposed to do. But the only places I built was in the little mid right, just little edge of the right, between the mid and
Correct.
the right. But then during the mid game, you guys destroyed and took over that side, so I couldn't make any units to send to the right side. And when I tried to build in the right side, I didn't find any spots. If I had to build in the back, they were only farms. If I have to build in the front, you guys are sending you guys are having a bunch of traps destroying everything that it's made in the front. I did try many, like at least 3 times, to build in the front and has been destroyed. Either you guys killed my villagers in the way there, or when he started. I mean, you guys were managing. You guys were microing very well. As soon as you guys see something being built, you guys destroy it and destroy the villager who building it. So that's why I couldn't do anything on that side. Yeah.
Yes, so that's kind of interesting. Go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah, and then at the end, I mean, that's what I give up everything. At the end, I said I'm not gonna hold my side anymore. I'm just gonna send whatever I have and anything that I produce, I will just send it from a corner to a corner, and literally from the left edge of the map to the right side of the map, I was sending my units, especially my pikes. And I mean, it's not practical, but at least we got something there, better than having nothing.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like I was saying, like when you, you know, the only reason even you got hit was because you weren't with the team on their backside, like what Shoaib was saying. Like you weren't on the you didn't have army coming from the backside, so you would have been protected. So since you were coming horizontally, it just made it made you the easy target. You see, you know what I mean? So even like when we went in, it was like Salman was like, "Oh, he's alone, so let's go." And because we had like that, because we kind of like because Faisal and Shoaib were doing really good contesting, so basically they did not allow an inch into their territory. Because they just held it. The thing is, you were the guy that was, you know, on the side, and the thing is horizontally, because I guess the way you build and whatever, you were going to be 2v1'd anyway. So what actually happened to you was you got 2v1'd with paladins and then the elephant archers. Like basically you got 2v1'd, and that's what kind of like really hurt you a lot. Like in that the pushed you out, because you got caught basically off guard. And then Faisal got a great point. Is like, hey, like you don't want to necessarily do the 1v1 thing. I'm always generally waiting. Like especially in the 3v2 even, I'll just generally like, you know, look at the game and how it's going. Like at some point it's fair game, but at some point it's not fair game. Like for example, would I single push you in? Not really. But will I keep you honest there by attacking every now and then? Sure. But does that mean I'm gonna really push you? Not really. If Salman is going there, for example, to do the push, then I'll have like some units to support. Actually, a few times I didn't even like, because I need you guys to figure out like how to break that combination. So it was really good because Faisal, Shoaib figured out like how to sort of like break the combo. And the breaking the Salman's wall network was huge. Like that combination was huge, right? And that's where everyone's saying like, hey, since you got basically isolated, Vassal's got the point where it wasn't really a 3v2, unfortunately, right? Like, in the end, it wasn't really a 3v2. It just became like like Vassal said, it's like, oh, you're going 1v1, or you're going like they're going like 2v2. So it's kind of like, okay, so I guess we're just screwed, kinda. So your presence there was going to be needed. Now, the only thing I would just say is like, hey, when you're building, just make sure, maybe like to Shoaib's point, like either early game decide like where you're gonna build on the other side, and vice versa, and then B, unless you have that area sort of secure in middle, it's probably kind of hard if it's being super contested, because if you kind of think about it, the real estate going from vertically, from like going when you're fighting vertically, it's a bit limited. However, if you go horizontally, it's also patchy and limited. But if you lose access, like if Faisal and Shoaib cannot put enough pressure, oh man, you're gonna get 2v1'd in that horizontally, because you'll have like lots of units with free movement coming in, as opposed to going like vertically up and down, which is a bit harder on the map to do. So obviously, that's why I said your early gameplay super good. I mean getting in, making the outposts, awesome work. Just you guys have to be able to do that initial communication and be able to set up like Shoaib said, which I think is like a very, very strong point and a valid point, and ultimately to the point Faisal's making, which is like, hey guys, if we can't even use our numbers, then then what are we doing? Like, because like maybe you're gonna lose going head to head just directly, but maybe with the right layering and combo, and you put some overwhelming numbers to some extent with the right units, you can get there. And then Shoaib and Salman had that point. Don't make so many trebs that it blocks your own army. Like blocking your own army is like worse, because it slows your push. It kind of like stagnates your army. You can't really, and it's already tight there. But I like Shoaib trying to open the area, create more space. That was really good. Actually, that was really good. And coming from another angle, that was even better. So Shoaib, that move you did on the side where you carved out like that space and then the treb bombardment. I mean, Saman couldn't really do anything about it. I mean, he just had to watch. He had to just sit and watch like shit. I mean, he called it, but he's like, but well, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, I think the only other comment to add to Munsif's point about space, I think which I do sometimes with Faisal and sometimes he does with me, is like just communicate. Like if let's say you're not finding space, hey, can you guys delete some buildings you're not using or something like that, right? Like for example, if you wanted maybe to me delete my siege workshops and not build any honor, I could have done that as an example, right? So I think if we communicate a little bit on that part, it can help alleviate some of the spacing issues, right?
Well, I mentioned like two times. I mentioned maybe three times. I mentioned I don't have space where to build behind. I
Or
didn't
maybe
mention can you please
maybe
delete
I
this
didn't
or
maybe I
that,
didn't
but
yeah, I didn't hear that part then,
oh
so
no, I
maybe.
did. I did mention it. Like I recall at least two times, but I may have mentioned it more. But I didn't say please delete this building or not. I
No,
just
no, no, I
mentioned
didn't I
like
didn't hear
I don't
I
find
didn't even
space where
hear
to
the
build
other
next to
part.
you
Yeah,
guys.
I didn't hear the other part,
Oh
so
yeah.
Yeah, that was telepathy, bro.
Yeah.
The brother, because he has to keep his voice low, so
Mhm.
he's been using his mind game. You see? So he uses telepathy to basically say he's screaming and telling you that he doesn't have space, man. Isn't that right, Munsif?
They should allow you to select your allies buildings and click delete.
Oh shit.
Just an FYI, that feature is in the game,
Oh
but they
really?
have to be resigned.
Oh, resign. Okay.
But that feature is in the game.
Next time, make sure my teammate resigns before.
And then they'll rejoin, reconnect afterwards.
Damn. Okay.
But yeah, I
That
think next couple of weeks, Logan City is gonna be back, so should be fun.
Yeah, so I mean overall, like I was telling you guys, like overall, not bad at all. It's just like clean up some of these, like what Fastel was saying, Shoaib, what you were saying, that early calm, the presence, and because I'm telling you, generally, you guys have been pretty spot on. By the way, just so y'all know, at 200 pop, there is a struggle on Salman's part. Just letting you know. So that is a thing. So my point is like you guys are doing really good. So kind of keep that in mind, right? So we are making progress, and it is good progress. So just have to break some old habits about staying in one location. And if you work as a team, now Faisal has another point. Just make sure, like, there's an O and a D and an O and a D, and to be able to change that, you guys have to be present. If you can't change that, it'll be hard to be present. You know, so just kind of keep that in mind, right? Unless you guys, I don't know, based on your strategy, if you picked a Civ that was like, you know, defensive. By the way, I love the picks were generally completely fine. Like the Korean pick was okay, not bad. Shoaib, your pick is completely fine. Very mobile, very like, you know, being able to do whatever. And then Faisal's pick was just, you know, spot on. So no complaints there. Like the picks and and complimenting them was really good. So loved all of that. Nothing, especially on this map too. Like those picks are really shining. And by the way, with all the tree line, Shoaib, who needs walls? I'm just saying, like, who needs walls? Like, you're good, right? As long as maybe one ally has walls, you're good, right?
Yeah, I was communicating with Munsif and Faisal, so they, you know, they built in a couple of places where I needed it. So
And so, yeah, they were doing a good job with the walling, by the way. Munsif did a great job. Faisal was doing really good. And Faisal's tower building was generally on spot. So every time there was like some kind of an issue, Faisal built those towers, and then it really stopped, like the pushes. So again, again, just overall well played. Yeah. All right, folks. Like, I don't have anything else to say. Hopefully, you guys had fun. I think everybody got to see the first map, the online game that I played, and you know, this game is obviously much slower than that. But my point is, like, eventually you guys end up doing that, so it'll be good to see how you get to that. I mean, you're still a bit far, but not that crazy far. I think we're kind of somewhere in the midpoint before you guys can get there. But overall, pretty darn good. And then guys, you'll have to your heart's content. You'll have all the resources you want, and then it'll just be a matter of just playing the game. So it'll be hella fun. All right, folks.
all right.
Thank you very much.
All
Have a
right.
good
Good night.
good evening.
Good night,
Take
guys.
care. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, sir.